I think a lot of things changed outside of my tennis, which actually affected my tennis. That's how I have been reflecting on that change that I've had with my father, who was there with me since the beginning. And we obviously had a lot of tensions throughout this road. It's, I think, quite normal. I wouldn't think otherwise.
Yes.
And he's been a great support for me. And he's a very emotional person. People do not understand. He's a very emotional dad to have around. And he's someone that has shown me the way for so many years of how to go and how to try and do it. And he was not always wrong, but he's a man of honor. He has admitted it plenty of times that, you know, I've been wrong, I've done wrong, and I accept my mistakes. I've chosen to stop collaborating with my father this year because of I saw a lot of things that were tiring to him. He was not anymore on the same energy levels as he used to be. Perhaps he was making mistakes more often than he normally was. And I was already thinking of that years, actually. I wanted to take my own route already for years now, but it was just difficult to disconnect and to let go of my father, who has done so much for me. Because at the end of the day, I think of all the positives and all the good stuff that he has brought into my life. And doing that to him, putting him away, just abruptly, just like that, is something that will hurt him so much. And it's like a relationship where we have had. It's just difficult to suddenly cut it and go around separate ways. It needs to happen a little bit more smooth and soft. And with my dad, since the moment we have stopped, September was actually the moment that I've decided to actually let go. I'm in touch with him and we talk, and I really want him to be my father, because I feel like through our relationship in tennis, things have kind of gotten mixed up. And I've lost that value of the father that I want to have into my personal everyday life. It has become more of a business type of feeling transactional feeling that I've had with my dad. And what I mean by transactional, I feel like it feels more that he's integrated into my tennis than he's integrated into being a father to me. And that's something that also has upset me over the last few years, because I always wanted to have a dad by my side. The dad that I remember when I was 10 years old, 12 years old, taking us to, obviously it's not going to happen the same way anymore, but those type of relationship that I used to share with my dad at the time, and it brings me so much great memories. And seeing him stressed around me, seeing him suffer so much, hurts me as well, because that's also one of the big reasons I've decided to let go, is through his own suffering that I have seen too. And his personality will never admit that he's suffering or that he's in a bad situation or a bad feeling. And if he doesn't do it, I have to do it for him. It's for his own good and for his own protection at the end of the day.
Yeah, and also like...
It's not always about me.
I mean, every story is different, but it's true that when you spend so much time together on court, outside the court, in tournament and everything, it tends to go more for the like business and relation, and you miss sometimes the like emotional part of just connection. You just need someone to tell you like it's okay, you know.
Just how you said it, Caro. Was it difficult for you to transition in that phase?
Yeah, it's difficult because...
And it takes time as well.
It takes time because like it's what you know for since many years, so you build your identity around it. And in a way, yes, they help you to go in the direction, they kind of protect you in the way they believe they will protect you. And then you have to go away from something you feel comfortable, even if you are uncomfortable in it sometimes, but it's what you know. And maybe you have made it to the top with that team around you, and sometimes you can be tricked by the fact that, okay, but it worked with that team, why it's not working anymore? Why do I feel I need something else?
There are so many things that I can relate on that. I absolutely get it.
But you feel like deep inside, and even sometimes it got built in years, that I need to change for my own good and for my personal life. I need to go somewhere. I don't know where I'm going, but I need to go there.
In a way, uncomfortable place, because you know there might be growth waiting there.
Yes.
Because it's an uncomfortable place.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it tricky. you let go of something that feels and sounds familiar, but you're actually letting go of something that is like allow you to perhaps maybe flourish in your own ways, different ways.
Yeah, it's true. At one point, maybe you need to start being more independent. No, if that even comes with mistakes, no, and like fucking it up a bit, it's mistakes you need to do, right? You need to sometimes learn things in the hard way.
That's exactly also, I feel like something that was lacking a little bit is my own sense of just letting me to fuck up on my own.
Yeah.
It's just let me make those mistakes myself, and it doesn't matter. I know those wouldn't happen if you were around. Yeah. But knowing that this independent feeling and this feeling of actually, okay, let me, as we say in Greece, eat my own legs and fall down and understand how life actually works, it's actually something that might help you as well go through it all.
I think humans, we need that freedom, right? Like, and at the end, most of mistakes, you will always find a way to recover from them, to improve. No, there's always one Roland Garros more, hopefully. And even if there's not, it's not going to be the end of the world at the end tennis. No, there's so much more things to life than tennis. And I think that's like, also, I guess it's from the father perspective, very complicated because you just want the best. But sometimes I guess you have to say, okay, like he's in a different stage now. He's like 24, 25 or whatever age it is. It's time for them to go by themselves. They will always have me as a father, but they need to just...
Yeah, for professional, maybe for your tennis, but also for your personal. And when tennis stops, you want to be like, to arrive to the normal world, let's say, with, okay, I did mistake, I know I can learn, I'm a confident person because you will take, you take more decision on your own.
Correct.
And you grow as a human.
Yeah, you take, me, I'm gaining like confidence, you know, and I'm like, yeah, I know I can do it, you know, like sometimes I will go through a decision for like 3 hours. You can see that, but like I will take it.
Was it easy for your dad to let go, like to understand your decision? And because I think for him also must be a big shock to just go back home and watch you on TV.
It's more of a surprise in terms of everyday things for him than it is for me.
Yeah.
Look, I still think he's hurt even today.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he has fully recovered, to be honest. But I don't blame him. I understand him, like, in those type of things. I understand that he needs time, and I try and do it in a smooth way where I do talk to him, but obviously not every day, because I guess that also might look like I'm desperate to kind of regain him back. Yeah. So I want to do it in a healthy way, and I want him there for me as Stefanos. I don't want him there for me, the Stefanos, the tennis player. That's something that I have as a rule.
I'm not at that, but I think like one of the big challenges of it is that it's a job that requires to evolve constantly, right? Because every year the kid is changing so much that adaptability is the key, to understand what that person needs at every year. And it's a huge challenge, no? And I think like once you get like so inside like the dynamics, maybe it's hard to have that perspective to understand that, okay, like now he needs me as a father, no, and not as a coach.
No,
so
to separate those two. Huh?
It's then being a dad is the mom is the most important job there is in the world.
The most difficult job in the world, probably too.
We had Ivan Ljubicic in the podcast a few months ago, and he has also like a son coming up, and he was a coach of Federer, no, amazing player as well. It was super interesting and refreshing because he was saying, I could never think of coaching my kid because at first, I don't think I'm rational. It's my kid, so maybe, like there's emotions involved and a coach needs to be rational. And also, I don't want it. I want to be there for my kid, support him if he gives advice, but I don't want to be mad at him because he missed the forehand, right?
But like for him, like being the tennis player we know he was, and then being a coach of one of the best players ever.
Man, he's an amazing
Telling
coach.
you when you watch his kid of 16 years old, he's not rational. Like he gets mad if he misses a forehand. It's like, wait.
And I don't want to be mad at my kid for losing a match, right? I want to be there supporting him, but...
Does he actually help the kid, or...?
So if like the kid has his own team and own way to work, like if his kid comes to him, ask him a question, he will answer, and he will be there as a dad, but he doesn't get involved in his tennis unless his kid asks.
He's doing it absolutely right and absolutely how it should be done, and how any parent should approach it.
At the end, this is in tennis or in sports is the only like place where you see this kind of behavior happening, right? Because me, my parents, they came from like the business experience, they were entrepreneurs, right? And me, when I was like 18, they told me go to university, right? Then after, if you want to join me or you want to build your thing, I will use all my expertise, connections if you want, you know. But
Resources and
but you have to like learn from experts, you know, like be a well-rounded person. And I don't know, like, why this transition in sports, sometimes it's a bit different. Like, I guess also, like, success, the adrenaline of it, no? Because it's a lot of emotions involved, and there's nice ones. And when you're part of a good team like yours, it's addictive,
It's
I
driven
guess.
by a lot of emotions.
Yes.
And emotions can be addicting.
Emotions are addictive, yeah. Human beings, no, we love to experience the highs, and then the lows, they come with it, but...
Not everyone wants to experience the lows. That's why
No,
most of them disappear.
but if you're, there's no one in history who remained high like 100 years, right? If you want to be high, you don't have to go at zero, but life is always a bit of a roller
Of course,
coaster,
wavy,
right?
yeah. Otherwise,
But
it would
yeah.
be interesting. I mean,
It's a complicated matter sometimes, parents and sports. Yeah.